Well, guess what I'm fixing this weekend? That thing. Rachel messaged me this morning, showed me a photo, and there's water all down the driveway. She, from where it was parked after she went to drop the young fella off and come back, and there's a nice pool of water there, and yeah, she didn't pick up, but yeah, let's piss some water out from somewhere underneath. So it looks like I'm working on that this weekend, and it's a long weekend. Lovely. Just when you want to go do something else. Righty, how you going, guys? So as you've probably seen the little clip at the start of the video, and I'll probably put a little photo that Rachel sent me yesterday when I was at work. This thing is put some water everywhere out underneath. Because it's just sitting there now, it hasn't been running. It's not leaking anything. I don't know whether the fluid levels dropped down from it sitting outside or yesterday, but yeah, it's got a leak in the coolant system somewhere. I think around the back of the motor, and being front wheel drive and fairly compact in there, it's not very easy to see what's going on. So I need to get in there, and I think what I need to do is jack it up and get it up a decent distance and see if I can climb underneath there and see with a torch or something like that, see if I can find out where the water's coming from. I've taken the cover off it. From what I can see, just crawling underneath, it looks like it's coming from the back of the motor somewhere. I'm hoping it's not the water pump, because that's in behind the cam belt, and we just did the cam belt there a wee while ago. So I don't really want to pull that part again, but if that's what it is, I have to, I guess. Which is a pain, but it's going to be a pain anyway, because just these modern engines are so compact. Like, give me an old 6-cylinder Chevy or freaking Dodge or anything like that from years ago. So much simpler to work on. You can just be able to point it and go, all right, the bottom, go, oh yeah, there's where the leak comes from, and then fix it. But this shit, you could probably take you an hour to find the bloody leak, just because you can't get in there to see. But anyway, so I'll throw you on high speed or something like that, and I'll get this thing up. I'll just find where everything is. I haven't been in here for a while. The Jag's not even in here at the moment. It's in the main car shed. Yeah, so anyway, so the Jag's actually in the shed in the house, because Dad had his camper in here, so like I can't even work on that because I don't want to weld and all that sort of crap out in there. So yeah, today it's the modern-ish Mondeo diesel. There you go, guys. Right, so I've been doing a bit of research after I crawled underneath this thing and had a look. Now from what I can see on some videos that I've looked at, which was the same guy, I looked at a few of his videos that are used to help do the time about and to make the video that I did. He's got a few different videos of working on different parts of the car, but he's got one there of removing the turbo. And from what I can see, there's a water pipe that runs from down behind the block here, near the transmission end, that runs across to the water pump at obviously the other end. There's a steel pipe that runs across there with obviously some rubber hoses on it at each end. That's up and behind the turbo. And then there's, I think, 3 or 4 frost plugs or Welsh plugs, depending on which part of the world you're in, and behind that as well. And from what I understand, if I'm going to try and get to them from the engine being in the car, I think, from what I picked out, because I'm going to have to get the turbo out of the road for a start off. So pretty much that means I've got to drop the subframe, the drive axle from that side, and that's just to get rid of the turbo out of the road, and all the other shit that's in there, just to get the friggin' thing into the access to that water pipe and the frost plugs, just so I can see if that's where the friggin' water's coming from, because I still can't really tell. It's coming from up there somewhere, because it's dripping down onto the top of the turbo. So yeah, it's sort of hard because I don't know if it's squirting from that pipe somewhere and onto the turbo, or whether it's coming out one of the frost plugs, or if there's some other friggin' line further up that I can't see, like some little line maybe for a heater hose, or yeah, I just can't see. There's too much shit in the road. So the other thing I might do is I might see if I can get a mirror in here and just have a bit more of a look. Might try and get a mirror in here and see if I can have a bit of a look, but it's really, really difficult because the engine's sort of laid back. It's quite difficult to see over the back. There's not a lot of room, like it's not as though it's vertical and you've sort of got this much space to have a decent look in there because the engine's laying back. It's quite close to the firewall and there's only a gap about this big to have a look down, and you can't really see much because it's just typical brick and modern car. There's that much crap jammed in there you can't see. So I'll see if I can find a mirror and have a bit of a look down in there, see if I can see if there's any other like little pipes and bits and pieces, because there's pipes and shit everywhere. But half of it's to do with intake and all that sort of crap, and like the what do you call it? Is it the EGR system, whatever it is, like it puts the exhaust gases back through the intake and all that sort of crap. I think that's what they call that. That's like that steel pipe. Like there's just that much shit in there. It's like, why do you do that to yourself? But I can't afford to take it to a mechanic and get them to tear the car apart to try and find it. I'm going to have to do it myself. And I'm quite capable of doing it myself, but it's just a nightmare thinking that all of a sudden I've got to drop the wheels off, drop the suspension out, undo the bottom arms, drop all that subframe out. Obviously there's the top mounting the gearbox and the engine over there and stuff, so the engine's not going to fall out. But it means I've got to try and undo everything else to get that subframe out, and then get that drive axle out, just to get the turbo out, just to get in there to look if it's that pipe or frost plugs. It's like freaking heck. Anyway, see if I can hunt out a mirror. already got some work lamps before. I should just poke the video up on YouTube about them. I gave a quick little explanation about what's going on with this stupid thing. Now see if I can get this bloody clamp undone and get this boost pipe off this bloody thing. The turbo. Get him here. Far out, man, they put some stupid shit in stupid places. Fucking late model cars. The clamp around so you can't get at it very easily. See if I can get these in the air. See if I can maybe rotate this clamp now. It's a bit looser. Some screwed up, I can do it by hand. Yes. Jesus. We'll have to get that off. Gosh. Where to now? Boris Yeltsin. See any more up in that? A little bit. Still can't really see it freaking coming from. I can see, I can kind of see better because it's not in the road. You know, it's one less thing in the road. Oh, still not very well. Just need a freaking hand in there now. I'm going to bring you over here and try and show you. Hold on. Oh. Smell the torch. Hold on. You can kind of see in there, I guess, a bit easier. Not really, but kind of. Still can't really see where the leak's coming from, but you can see it's coming down the back of the turbo and over the top of the turbo. And, yeah, you know, all those freaking horrible places you don't want it to be coming from. Anyway, so what I might try and do now is get this drive out of the road, which is a pain in the ass because I don't really. I have to pull that out of the gearbox because the trans is going to fucking piss fluid everywhere. And the oil in this trans is not fucking cheap. I think it's when Dad had this as a work vehicle, they did the trans fluid on it. It was like $1,000 for the trans fluid. It's like ridiculous, because if you don't put the right trans fluid in it, it'll drop 300 or 400 k's in mileage when you're driving. So anyway, don't have much choice, I don't think. See what we can do now. I'm going to try and drain this trans fluid out so I don't lose it. I've got a bucket here that's really, really clean. I just cleaned it out with brake clean and whatever. Hopefully that's the drain plug, I'm guessing. I don't see anywhere else to drain it from without. I'll be cautious though, just in case this is something else. I don't know. I'm only guessing. This is the drain plug. It's not some spring-loaded friggin' balls or something in here. It's fucking stiff. Drain plug. It's got a little O-ring on it, that's why it's tough to take out. The fun thing that you do to fix cars. Oh well. Back shortly. Alright, so I'm going to undo this hub and see if I can get this frickin' axle out. It's like a 13mm header on a bolt that goes through here with a big washer on it. That one at the end of the axle. So you can take that out, I guess. Years ago they would have had a big nut on them, but obviously some of these other cars have different things, obviously. So I've got the drive axle out, and then what I had to do was sit it back on the ball joint. I got a whatever that is, brass or bronze or what is it, like a drift that Dad had. Poked it into the axle and just gave it a couple of whacks. The main reason you use that because it's nice and soft and it doesn't damage the end of the axle or anything like that. So that was just enough to break that loose, and then I could pull the arm down and pull that axle out of the road and slide that out of the drive on the hub, and then you just get in and undo on that bearing. There's a clamp there with a couple of nuts on it, one on the bottom and actually two on the top, because there's like a little hole to another little bracket on, so you got to take that off and then take the other one off. So yeah, that I found out. I thought I had it off and then I didn't. But anyway, so yeah, I've got that out, so I'll climb underneath in a minute and let you show you, see if we can see anything up there. Alright, as you can see, I got a bit of shit out of the road. But like, it's just taking so freaking long. Oh, stupid bloody thing. But the worst bit was that hose clamp. Because it was poking around there like that, you just couldn't get in there to get on it. Like if they had the hose clamp round, like, you know what I mean, like that way, with it pointing down, with that pointing down, you would have had it off in freaking 2 minutes. But anyway, so let's have a look. Well, it's still hard to see because it's well, this is all oil lines. So that's a drain, that's a feed, the turbo. You got that water line that runs across here. It could be that, but I can't friggin' tell. I can't tell if it's that yet. It's fucking because like the water's up here, but like I don't know if it could be spraying out somewhere. It's really hard to tell. And now I can't start it because I pulled that drive axle and I've drained the fluid out of the trans. Just freaking God. Why do they make this shit like this? So like to get the turbo out, you can't get the bolts off the manifold with separate the turbo off. So you've actually got to drop the subframe so you can get all this shit out to unbolt the manifold to get the turbo out and undo these brackets and undo this and undo that and to get that out of the road to even get up in there. Like, it's ridiculous. Oh, it makes me cry. But anyway, so I'll keep looking. I'll see if I can find anything. So anyway, yeah, I still can't fucking see where it's coming from. Excuse my French, I'm just getting annoyed. Like I'm going to have to pull more parts out of here just to try and to see and whether I can actually see any more. My next plan is to maybe see if I can get the front bit of the exhaust off and off the turbo and see if I can get that off and the cat and stuff. So like I've got to unbolt it back here somewhere. So I'm going to bolt it back there, and then up in here there's like a clamp on the turbo, and take this off, and maybe I can slide that out of the road to get a look. Or I don't know, like I could just more and more stuff's got to come off, I guess. What a pain in the ass. Well, this is just, it's going to turn into like a super major job. Like, it's just not simple. Like the hoses, and any hose is like up and behind that turbo. So like to get it out of there is like, what, even get access to it? It's like not easy. I might be able to maybe if I get the manifold off, I might better actually get that pipe out and have a look at it and see if that's what's leaking. And if I get the pipe out of the road, maybe that might give me a bit more of an idea. Like I might actually better have enough space to move, get my hand in around shit to see if that's the problem, that steel pipe that runs across the back of the block there. but you know, anybody's guess, I guess. A lot of guessing. Well, I've got more shit out of the road. I was actually undoing the bolt and exhaust manifold, that one there, to try and get the clamp undone from a few videos I've followed, so I can actually get this piece of the exhaust off, so I can have a bit more of a better look again. And in my efforts I've disturbed more water, obviously, which is weird because I'm pretty sure these fucking turbos aren't water cooled. But it seems to be dripping from there, but whether it's coming up above and landing on that and then running down or not, don't know. But so yeah, I've just put a freaking container down here to try and catch the rest of the fucking water as it keeps dripping. But it'll probably end up mostly over me. But anyway, I'll carry on and see if I can get this bloody exhaust from this exhaust pipe off with the cat and stuff, and see if I can, even if I can get it droop back out of the road, so I can have a bit more of a look. And then I'm going to try and I might have to drain the water or drain the coolant out of this thing, and see if I can find, maybe remove this hose. That's the start of it there, and bolts there. There's obviously a clamp there that I've got to get to and across, and see if I can get it off. But I need to get the pipe off so I can get up to the top clamp a bit easier with some tools. Anyway, carry on. But I haven't drained the water yet because I wanted to just saw if I get it moving. So it's obviously one of those little leaks that might have plugged itself, and now I've disturbed it again. But anyway, carry on. But I can see almost where it's coming from. And behind the exhaust manifold where it bolts in the head, there's a row of Welsh plugs or frost plugs just below the exhaust ports, and right in the centre where the intake manifold collects, or the exhaust manifold collects where it bolts onto the turbo. There's a couple of Welsh plugs behind there that you can't see, but I can, when I poke my phone up in there, and you'll see on the video, yeah, there's a you can see a drip from in behind that exhaust manifold, and the only place it can come from in there is one of those frickin' frost plugs or Welsh plugs. So obviously one of those is over 300,000 Ks, and probably because the coolant hasn't been changed often enough, it's rotted one of those plugs out. I actually thought it might have been the EGR valve on these things, which is sort of up and above the exhaust. I'll spin the phone around in a second, I'll show you. I watched a couple of videos of the same guy that I was been talking about earlier on, that when I did the cam out and everything. He's got a couple of videos where you pull it apart, and I can just about guarantee it's coming from. Yeah, so what I was saying before, this here is water cooled, which is part of the emission system, EGR or valve, or what do you want to call it. I thought it might have been that, so that's why I was poking my phone down there before, trying to see. It's not that, so when I poke my phone up from the bottom, I can see the water dripping down from the back of the head and behind the exhaust manifold, which points to Welsh plugs or frost plugs in there. There you go, guys. So I thought I'd just do a basic diagnostic of what's happening. Obviously, you pretty much know what's happening. There's a frost plug or a Welsh plug gone in the head in the centre, which basically means this has got to come out. Because if one's gone, guarantee if you fix that one and try and do it in there, even if it's successful, another one will go, and then you're back to the same thing. So you may as well pull the motor out and replace the whole lot in the motor, all the ones we can find anyway, figure out where they all are, replace them all, new gaskets around the outside of it or whatever, double check everything else, and then start reassembling, which is going to be a real pain in the butt. But anyway, it's got to be done. It's got to be done. It's done almost 300,000 Ks. So yeah, if one's going to go, another one's going to go, and then, you know, I don't want to be doing this again. I might as well do it once and do it right. Alright guys, we'll see you on the next one. There'll be obviously probably a part 2 and a part 3, and who knows, maybe a part 4, putting it back together and getting it running again. Anyway, cheers.